What's going on, everyone? Welcome to Non-Fungible Guys. I'm one half of the host, NFG Ryan, and the other half is with me as usual, Devon C. Codrington.
Wow, that was nice.
What's going on, buddy?
What's going on?
For those of you who are new to the podcast, we talk about the crypto space, NFTs, and kind of everything in between. We flow through different blockchains and all sorts of security stuff. We'd like to talk about everything. So today we've got a good episode, I think, for everybody. It's going to be fun. And we have Rook from Alchemists of ADA on here. Sorry, I don't have the S on here on my show notes. I screwed that up. But
yeah, plural.
Yes,
We've got loads of alchemists.
So welcome, Rook. How are you?
I'm very good, guys. Thank you for having me on. Really appreciate it, and really look forward to letting you guys know a little bit about the Alchemists of ADA and showing you what we're going to do. So awesome.
Love it. Yeah, before we jump right into this, so this is a little bit different. Often this Rook here, we don't know Rook that well. So we're going to kind of discover Rook at the same time as the listeners are. We've listened to you in a space. I don't even know when that space was. Was that?
It was, I checked. It was August 9th. So it was about...
Yeah, that was a little while ago. Yeah.
Yep. And we listened to the Shark Tank.
Yeah, that's what it was. Shark Tank.
Yeah, that's the one. Yeah, that was my first public appearance of any sort. So
right.
A little bit rusty, but we'll see how we go. Hopefully I'll do better this time.
No, you're great. We liked it. Like we listened to that. We were like, that's cool. This guy's all right here. And like we'd like to share some of that with everybody else. For what I don't even know about the project. Like, you know what? Screw it. Let's just start wherever we want to start. There's no like normally we like kind of like frame it up, but no, screw it.
I was going to say, at least with Shark Tank, well, at least the better thing with us is at least you get more than 5 minutes. So
yeah, that's true.
We got the free flow. So.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, so I want to jump so much to the question I'm pretty sure that everyone asked you, that it's like, if someone wanted to find Alchemists of ADA, where would they find you? And it's like, they'd find you on Twitter. They would find you on Twitter, just Twitter.
Yeah.
Project has a Twitter page, and then you have a Twitter page, which is Rook ROOK BTC. So that's what we know about those are your entrance points: the Alchemists of ADA Twitter page, and then Rook BTC. So you know what, Rook, we're starting there. Why is it that you only have a Twitter page and no Discord and no website?
Okay, so for us, we're at a point where our team's not huge. And when I say that, it's myself and a few advisors that I've got working with me. So I'm just going to be honest when I come out with that. And it's something that at this point, I think the best way that I can communicate what we're doing is through Twitter. And hopefully by the time this podcast comes out, we'll have our medium ready to go, which you guys have seen. And you're the first people to see that, which is really cool. And that sort of gives everyone an idea of, where we're going. And it's a platform that I can really easily say, okay, this is what we're doing, this is our plan, and as I build the team and as I build the project and build everything towards where I want it to be, these are two mediums that, ironically, medium being one, that are good for me to show what we're about. I've seen projects that have everything right from the gate: Discord, Twitter, Medium, Instagram, TikTok, and they're spreading themselves too thin. And for me, I think the space is so, it's critical, is probably a word I'd use, where you could have too many things and not have enough content to go around. And for me, I didn't want to do that, and Discord is definitely on the horizon within the next sort of 2-3 days of when this podcast will be showing. And hopefully by that time, we'll be able to, get to meet our community face to face and, talk to them on a regular basis and really get into, who we've got in our community, because our engagement's really good at the moment. We've got a lot of people talking to us. We've got a lot of people messaging us in DMs and stuff saying, I really like the artwork. And, it's something that I've put out a moderator call. So I've tried to get the best of the best. I'm someone who doesn't necessarily have a huge amount of contacts in this space. So what I didn't want to do is just to randomly pick moderators. I wanted the best of what I could possibly get. So, yeah, that's the plan.
I'm interrupting the podcast to bring you a word from our podcast sponsor. The Developer Collective is the very first Web3 developer agency on Cardano that offers the most innovative solutions in a custom white glove service experience. Use the Developer Collective to build your platform, website, or NFT project. The agency comes fully staffed with dedicated developers, designers, and project managers that will take the technical aspect of things off of your hands. Founded by Nighthawk, the very first recognized project advisor in the Cardano NFT space, and founder of the Crypto Talent Marketplace. But what is the Crypto Talent Marketplace? Well, let me tell you about it. The Crypto Talent Marketplace is the first of its kind talent marketplace, serving as a meeting place for blockchain talent and project teams in need of that talent. The marketplace is currently under development and will launch this summer. All right, cool. Back to the podcast.
That's awesome.
I do love that answer. It sounds like you really want to focus your message and kind of like focus on building something that you're kind of where the voice is cohesive and coherent and like really, really focused as opposed to spreading yourself thin. That's actually really awesome. It's a little bit like, as we were like looking at the project, it was like, wait, what? But it's funny. I think that's probably a symptom of where we are now, bear market. Back then, months ago.
Yeah, a couple months ago.
I'm like, yeah, geez, a long time ago, but like a couple months ago, things were different. People were moving quickly. People ape in more, but this is a more wary NFT investor, NFT collector, NFT enthusiast. So I think that sticking to Twitter only in this market, it shows that you'd rather maybe build slow or build kind of quietly and do your thing and reveal properly, and you don't care about those that are skeptical of only having Twitter, I guess.
Yeah, 100%. And I think for me, like I said, the idea is to really give, and I think I like the way you just put it, to be fair, is to really give a clear message of where we're going. I've seen projects, and I'm not going to name names, I'm not that sort of guy, but I've seen projects go and do loads of different things and their message is not coherent in any way, shape or form, And I think I've been listening to a lot of space in the last few days where, and obviously we've probably all seen the fluffies mint and things like that.
Yep.
What I'm not bothered about us selling out instantly. That's not something that I'm really worried about. And I think if you look back at chilled gongs, they didn't sell out instantly. I think it was about 9 days it took them to sell out.
Yeah.
So for me, it's not something that I think we must sell out instantly or it's a failure and I'm not going to go forward with it. That's not where I am. So if the message gets out in the right way, hopefully people will then come, and we'll build something really cool. That's a plan.
Nice. I like that.
Yeah.
And yeah, didn't sell it it sold out in 9 days. Holy crap. Like, thought we were supposed to, really be in this for a while, but yeah, we're kind of crazy with the whole sellout times, but
it's insane. It's insane,
People worry so much about selling out like right away. Like there's a project I'm in and someone recently just entered and they're like, oh, I minted, but like, why is this such a low mint? Why do you have they're basically saying you have no community? Why'd you open the mint? Why'd you do this? And it's like, well, no, we're slowly building and we're building in this bear market. You want to look for projects building, right? And this guy just I say guy, but this person just wouldn't kind of let it go that like, I don't understand why you open, I don't know. People just worry about too many little things like selling out and like, the project's doing things. They're releasing sneak peeks. They're doing stuff. So like, just let the projects build and do their thing, right? They have a roadmap. They have plans. They've given sneak peeks. It's not like it's just like we're gonna slow rug you.
And speaking 100%. Of rug, oh sorry, Ruck.
No, yeah, go. I'm just saying.
Speaking of rug, I think it was Dilly that tweeted something recently about people need to calm down with like accusing like everything. Like it's like
someone's a rug.
Someone sneezes and they're like, oh, it's a rug. You shouldn't be sneezing while minting. It's so it's kind of like, okay, people, not everyone, like, take it easy. Let's just get back to some grace and remembering like we need to build, and like the community is small and we're not everyone's rugging. People sometimes also get sick or burnt out, and I think there's definitely different ways people could handle shit. Like it's not good to like slowly disappear because you're afraid. Just like reach out. Like everyone will help and take over projects and do that kind of stuff. Like what's Ryan, what's the other thing that who's doing it? Crypto BT's doing. Send them your rugged projects. Send them your rugged NFT and they'll kind of allow you to mint one of theirs for
they're still working out the details, but it's basically if you're holding a rugged project, you'll be able to mint their Cardano family, like the crypto boutique NFT, for 10 ADA. They haven't released. Yeah, they haven't released whether it's going to be you hold 10, you get to mint 10. But I think the initial thing is you have to be a holder of at least one of their NFTs. So I guess you would have to pay at least 50 ADA for one mint, or buy off the secondary, I guess, is the rule. And then whatever rugs you have, you could do it for 10 ADA. But they haven't released. I think by end of week, they're going to have all that information ready for everyone. So they want to onboard people. And this is a clever way to do it, right?
Yeah. And it's unique, and in a space where, the Cardano NFT space is not big. If you look at the sort of popular, OG is probably a bad word to use considering the space is only a year or so old, but
the ghost chain, as we laugh about it sometimes.
Yeah, 100% the ghost chain. But yeah, the community is not huge, and if you look at the actual people that are commenting and doing different things, I'd say 50% are what we call bots, right? So we've got to try and do our best with the community that are here. And yeah, that sounds like a really cool idea that you just said with the rugged NFTs. And it's a shame that it comes to that, when NFTs are meant to be something that we enjoy and a hobby. I know that a lot of people buy them for financial gain, but it's meant to be something we enjoy, and projects minting at 25, 40 ADA, realistically, that's what, 2 coffees and a sandwich or something. So
exactly.
Nice.
It's I even minted I don't even know if I've told Devon this. I've minted a pixel page handle link, I guess. I don't know exactly what they're calling it. I think link
maybe. I think it's link.
I think it's a link. So I got rug pulls. So I was thinking maybe doing some kind of fun idea with the podcast where it's like I'll curate a rug pull pixel page where anybody can submit to it, and then I would just curate like here's some of our favorite, and just have here's a rug pull cemetery, whatever, a museum, whatever you want to call it.
It's a tomb.
So
I love how you have this idea, and I'm hearing about it we're all hearing about it for the first time. Ryan, guys, this is Non-Fungible Guys led by Ryan. Completely fine. I'm messing with you. I don't care. It's a great idea.
So we'll see what we come up with. Have some fun with it. But I guess let's go back and like, what is Alchemists of ADA? Have we even really said what it is? Let's go.
Let's start at the beginning.
We'll start right at the beginning. So hopefully, obviously, by the time this comes out, the medium will be there. The first article we've written, and people will be able to read through that as they hopefully listen to the podcast and be like, okay. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to sort of speak a little bit about my idea for why I started it in the first place. So for me, I've been in the NFT space for quite a while. I'd say like, I don't know, a year and a half, 2 years, which in this space is quite a long time.
You're an OG.
There you go. There's that word, the OG. But yeah, my first NFT, I'm trying to think. One of the first NFTs that I had for a while was a Space Boy. Do you remember them?
Space Boy.
Yeah.
No, I'm
very interested. And when I've looked back, obviously we're coming on with you guys tonight. I looked back at the Space Boys and the one that I bought and sold. They're very interesting. I think my one it was a spaceman with a pancake on his head, and that was one of the first things I bought after sort of looking around for a few months and seeing the punks and everything else. So, but yeah, so I wanted to create my own project because I feel like I've been in projects where I feel like I could do it better. I could lead it better. Basically, I could lead it better. I could have better artwork. I could be more honest. I could have more integrity. I could do a lot of things better than others are doing. And that might be completely wrong, but I hope it's not. And that's why I sort of wanted to start. Now, for me, I'm a teacher by trade. So in the day, I would go through ideas and I'd be sort of pottering around school and teaching my lessons, and I'd be thinking, oh, that's a cool idea. Okay, what could that be? No. And then I'd screw the bit of paper up and throw it away. And I'd get another piece and I'd start again and I'd sort of draw something and think, no, that's not a good idea. Throw that away. And I kept coming back in my head to scientists and science. I'm not a science teacher, but that was the idea. And the end goal, if you will, is to get us towards a game. Now, I don't know if I can name drop. It's a very popular game that sounds like Blash of Blands.
That's great.
Flash of Blands. Yeah,
very popular game. It sounds like that without name dropping to get us thrown off of Spotify. But so that my idea is to go towards that. That's my end goal. But what I don't want to do is start off a project by saying, buy my NFT, and in 2 months' time, you're going to have a passive income making AAA game that looks like Blash of Blands, and you're going to be living the dream. That's not what I want to do. So I wanted to create artwork that I thought was cool. And for me, I look at the artwork that I've created, and sometimes I sort of flick through the generative data, and I'll just randomly pick numbers of what I've chosen, and I'll go, that's cool. And then now I'm at a point where I think that's cool. I'm happy with the art. Mm-hmm. So the actual lore behind what we're doing with Alchemists of ADA, we're a collection of 2,222 mad scientists that, work in underground basements and underground labs to create something, a little bit magnificent, a little bit strange. They like to create different things. And what I've done is try to take inspiration from some famous alchemists and famous scientists and sort of throw them all in my artwork and mash up something that I think looks kind of cool. And I know that Ryan, you looked at one of our guys earlier. I've currently doing a guess the Alchemist at the moment over on Twitter. And I think that was pretty obvious.
A little bit obvious.
Yeah, that one is. But we've got a load more coming out in the next few weeks of some interesting ones that people will hopefully know. All of those assets are going to be sliced up into the metadata, and you might get a haircut from one famous alchemist and a pair of glasses from another alongside, some of the stuff that I've made. So hopefully people like the artwork, and that was the idea behind it, basically.
That's awesome. The one preview I hope to see is the dude from the Muppets with Beaker. I forget. I can't remember his name. What the hell is his name? But I remember Beaker. Everyone knows Beaker.
Yeah.
Okay. Challenge accepted, right?
Yep. Perfect. But anyways, go ahead, Devon. What were you gonna say?
It's so cool. I was gonna say, let's talk about the art a little bit, like just the style to describe it for those that are like kind of listening. I'm trying to think of what other, not to say it looks like another project, but there's it's definitely a vibe. It's definitely a nice, clean, it's a cartoony style, and it's like super clean. It's not like crazy like lines everywhere or whatnot. It kind of reminds me of, I don't know if like Invisible Friends, but no, not like, you know what I mean? Like
I heard someone say, I think on the space was kind of doodleish, like kind of like
doodles. Maybe doodles. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. But more, less abstract, more cohesive, and you like every line deliberately, you know what it is, and you get a good sense of exactly what it is. It's not like any abstract. Yeah.
And that for me, I've held NFTs in the past that I sort of have bought on a mad floor buy where everyone's buying everything, and I've ended up with something that looks absolutely horrendous. And when I've looked back at it, I thought that piece of art looks shocking. Like, I don't even like it. I've just bought it because I've hyped in and FOMO'd in and hoped to try and flip and make, 0.1 ETH or whatever it was at the time. And what I wanted to do was create artwork where someone could look at it and go, okay, it's simple, but I know that looks cool. What I don't want, like you said, I don't, and I say that on the Medium article, I don't want gradients. I don't want crazy lines everywhere. I want them to look, I want people to look at them and go, yeah, I like that.
Yeah. You know exactly what you're getting in a sense, right?
Yeah, 100%. And that was my goal. The NFTs that I like the most are the ones that look similar to mine. And that's probably why I've taken inspiration from that,
As you should be creating what you love. And like this, I'm not going to say it's minimal because it's not minimal, but the clean backgrounds and whatnot. Yeah, this is like foundational, quintessential, like NFT fundamentals and NFT purists, at the beginning there. Yeah, that's what I said. NFT purists.
Yeah, 100%.
PFP purists. There we go.
Yeah, and for me, sort of where we're going to go next, and this was sort of the next thing I was going to say, where we're going in phase 2 before that, end of line game, which I'm really hoping for. we have sort of got a mutation event which is going to happen, and I think hopefully you've seen that in Medium, and the people will read that when it comes to it on Thursday when I drop it. And if you guys are happy, I'll talk a little bit about that.
Yeah,
actually,
sure.
well,
Or you want me to?
All of a sudden, we were all over the place. Now we have order, apparently.
Yeah.
Sorry, Ruck. Sorry, he's just like, yeah, we'll jump forever. And I'm like, we have a schedule. Who is the artist? Since we were on the art, before we move off from that.
Me.
Oh, snap. You know that, Ryan?
I figured by the way he was talking it was him.
That's awesome. He's like, I'm listening, so I kind of.
I was gonna ask the question too. I just wanted to double check in case, maybe you had a secondary person, but it's all you. Like it seems like one-stop shop.
Yeah, that's what I was wondering, because I'm like small team, so I was thinking, maybe, screw it, whatever. I was thinking maybe like it's you an artist, but like.
Well, he said advisors. He never said artists.
Right.
So I was like, he's probably got people helping him. But
I was thinking, because I swear in the space, like he was like, maybe there's an artist, but that's maybe what I was thinking about. Whatever. You know what? Screw you, Ryan.
Yeah, so it's me. I'm the artist.
That's awesome.
It's one of those. Yeah, and thank you. I've never really been someone. Thank you. Yeah, I've surprised myself with some of the things I've drawn, if I'm really honest. I never was amazingly good at art at school, and it's something that I've sort of drawn things and just taken it from inspiration more than anything, and got to a point where I think actually that looks kind of cool, and I think I talk about it from a passionate point, where I look at it and I think like, wow, I've actually done that, and I'm quite amazed with some of them. But yeah, I've got a teacher at school as well, a guy I'm good friends with, who is an actual art teacher, so he has some experience of being an artist. But yeah, so
that's it, Ryan. Can we pause for a second, Rook? That's why I thought, because I knew you were working with an art teacher, so I assumed perhaps the art teacher. I know it's a little bit of a wild connection.
It would have been awesome if you said you make the kids, you're an art teacher and you make the kids make these.
Imagine.
Could you
imagine? Some weird slave labor.
I was going to say digital slave
will
labor.
Make me an NFT collection.
You want to pass, don't you? Okay.
Yeah, you all get an A.
They're like, sir, do we get royalties? You're like, just keep on drawing.
We sold out. Maybe we'll talk about it. You get an A though.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Sorry. We were off the rails.
Each student on a percentage of royalties.
Yeah.
Something interesting.
Right? Yeah. You get
right.
Sorry,
if I make another ghost NFT collection, you know what's happening. You know that there's something else going on there.
You went rogue.
Sweatshop NFTs. Probably not a good way to start.
Yeah, right? I'm like, that sounds cool, but then I'm like, that's not. I don't think we should do that.
That's definitely a police issue, and if my head teacher listens to this, I'm going to get fired. So we'll keep that.
We do not endorse any of that. These were all jokes. Nothing is real here. We're just joking around, everybody. All right, continuing on. All right. I guess the next thing now. So artist, awesome. What can you tell us about some of the traits? Have we mentioned the collection size yet?
2222.
I know. Just didn't know if he mentioned it.
2,222.
We tried to keep it somewhat small. For me, I've seen collections that throw out like 7,000. And that's too many. It's in a space, especially like Cardano. I think 2222 is a sweet spot. I'm hoping. Obviously, we'll find out.
I think it's a nice collection size. And have you teased the mid price at all, or
no, nothing yet?
Okay.
That was something I was also going to do on here. So
perfect.
Sweet.
We love that NFG Alpha.
Drop that alpha. I mean, we know, but still, drop that alpha.
So my plan, and this is 99.9% at the moment, I'm going to go for 29 ADA.
Whoa, okay, nice.
That's a nice entry point for onboarding new people into the space, and you know what? That's a great price actually.
$29.99. No, not $29.99.
Throw the decimals in there. Really mess with everyone.
Gets all sorts of weird offers on. Okay, anyway, sorry. Let's be a bit serious here. Like Rook's doing a great job. That's awesome. Why that number? Why is that your entry point?
So for me, what I don't want to do is people to get a sour taste in their mouth with anything, and it's coming from a place of love for NFTs and a passion for what I'm doing. And what I don't want to do is go in and be like, right, let's sell them for 100 ADA, because that's ridiculous. In the market that we're in, I just don't think that's a price point we can look for. And it's crazy because if you go back 9 months, 100 ADA, people would be like, yeah, like 15.
Yeah.
But now it is very different. And when you see collections and they're minting for less and less and less, and their supplies getting higher, I just think I'd rather get a community where they go, do you know what? I like that piece of artwork and I paid $14 for it or something. They're going to be quite happy with that, you know? And it gives me enough of a capital where I can then push on to phase 2. And I'm not drawing so much money out of the ecosystem. Like for me, the Cardano ecosystem can be a little bit fragile in the NFT space. You know, I don't want to go and pull, I don't know, however much ADA out of the system. That's not what I'm here for. You know, I'm not here for that.
So you're not cornucopia, taking everyone's ADA.
I have seen that.
I'll call him out.
I've seen, the latest rounds like 7.7 million, right?
Yeah, man, I don't even.
That's insane.
The amount of ADA they're pulling out from everyone is insane. Good old cornucopias. Keep doing your thing, but
that's insane. You know, and I believe what they're trying to create is going to be huge. But you know, it's essentially they're using like CNFTs as a Kickstarter, right? That's all they're doing. They're just using it as a base fund, really. Obviously, I don't know what you guys' thought process on that is.
Wow, all of a sudden we're all political, eh? Yeah, like wow.
Play the middle.
We're totally like, yeah, we're free flowing. You say something, we're just like, quite
interesting.
I have nothing to say about this. No, I'm actually really Ryan. You go ahead. Say something.
No, go ahead. I was just gonna say it's. I mean, we're in a bear market, and it's like sucking all that ADA out of everyone's wallet. I don't know. It is what it is, but I'm not a massive fan of it. But
neither am I. I'm in alignment there. I'm so glad you said you're not there to pull that out of the community. We are small. We know that, and yeah, I think it's like, even thinking about this makes the entry. I think it does a lot of things actually for your project, and I'm sure you've thought about this as well. With the mint size, with the mint price, this makes those that are like, you know what, I've always wanted to be a collector, I've always wanted something. It actually makes something like this possible. You know what I mean? Someone that wants to say, okay, I'm going to mint 3 or 4 of a couple of something else that mint prices maybe around 100 or 120 or 70. Maybe we're seeing 70s and 90s or whatnot now. This could change something and make your project and the model. So first of all, you got a good project. The artwork looks great. You're a good guy, like all that stuff is there. Like you're building a certain way that what you're already doing shows a lot about your mindset and how you're approaching this. And with that project size, or with that collection size and the mint, like it makes me even think like, this is something that I'm like, you know what, on mint, okay, maybe you could mint 10 and like, I never think like that for any other collection. Do you know what I mean? Because it's just, whether I have it, it's like drains the coffers too much or this and that. And it's like, it makes it easier for us to do the things we want to do, which is be active in the space, but develop relationships in the space, buy NFTs, collect NFTs, not even talk. And I'm not even mentioning flipping or anything like that. You know what I mean? Like those base things that we want to do. I'm not a flipper. I'm not a flipper and zipper. Like
No, you're not.
I'm dollar cost averaging and buying certain things. You know what I mean? So this is attractive to me because not everyone has the time for that. More and more people are coming out comfortably and being like, I'm not on Discord. I'm not flipping and following everything. I'm kind of just getting a couple things and doing my thing over here. And I think this project this model creates a really, really nice entry point. So with all that being said, if I don't buy like more than one on mint, then like, you know, I'm just a talking head here. So Brooke, you know, we'll talk.
Yeah, 100%. And for me, I want people to have more than one. You know, with our mutation event and what I'm hoping to achieve in phase 2, I want people to have more than one because it gives them a lot more possibilities when it comes to the mutation event. Now, obviously, I don't want to go huge detail into this because what I don't want to do is give out sort of my ideas. And I think that some of the things I've got are quite cool. But I'll go to a level, obviously, on here with you guys because I need to tell people what we're doing. But you know that I want people to have more than one. Obviously, I don't want people to drain all their ADA and buy 40. For me, that's pointless. I don't actually want them to do that, you know, because then again, someone's got 40 alchemists.
Right.
But 2, 3, 4, I think that's the right number, and that's a good collection size where people can do that and they can, you know, be ready for the next phase.
For sure. I guess I do have a question.
Okay.
why drop in this market at this time? Like, why now? Just because of the market we are in.
Yeah. So for me, I think that if I dropped in 6 months' time, I think that I probably wouldn't be any further along in phase 1 than where I am now. You know, my artwork is pretty much done. I mean, I'm tidying up a few lines and a few bits and pieces to make sure it looks as clean as possible. And for me, if I look at the fact that I am minting for quite a low price and it's quite a low supply, it's something that maybe could, I'm not saying help the bear market in any way, shape or form. You know, we're not going to be that powerful, but it might be a project that makes people feel like, okay, we're in a better spot than we was 2 weeks ago. You know, if a collection my size, so they can go and buy 2 or 3 and enjoy that, then, you know, I'll be happy with that. It's, for me, like I said earlier, if we sell out in 6 hours, I'll be chuffed. But I don't necessarily, I would love to, but we'll see what happens, you know. And that's sort of a bit of a round the bush answer to your question, but if I'm honest. But yeah, I think that the timing doesn't overly make a difference because of the price that we're coming in at and the collection size.
All right, fair enough.
Yeah, good answer, actually. Yeah. Nice. I like that. Did we talk about did I miss this? Did we talk about traits at all?
We glazed over it.
Yeah, we glazed
yeah,
over
we
it.
kind of went. Yeah,
let's go back. Let's roll back.
Yeah, let's go back. I wanted to get into that a little bit because I know that you mentioned the lab, the potions and whatnot. And I was like, let's talk traits before we get there.
Yeah, cool.
What do you have? Like we actually talked about the artwork with the clean lines and whatnot, but like, yeah, some of them look like scientists that you might know, like, you know, Einstein, and that's like the only scientist I know. I don't know, Planck. Yeah, they look like some like, I don't know,
Professor Fry. Come on, man.
Yeah, okay, Professor Fry, fictional character.
Yeah.
And that guy from Despicable Me. Anyways, what kind of
Nefario, right? Or you talk about a group?
That guy.
Giving away some of my famous scientists here.
That one's your profile, is it not? No. Yes. No.
So we've got Professor Frink, the Simpsons guy. He's the one who we just done. So this podcast, when we're recording this now, we just done Professor Frink. We had a really good engagement for that. So loads of people had a guest, which is really cool. But yeah, so with the traits, it's a bit of a mixture. I've taken a load of sort of, I call them famous scientists or scientists that we may know. So at the moment, there's a guest of the competition, and that's Water White. So people will know that by the time it comes around. We just had Professor Frink. I've got another sort of 7 or 8 that are going to go out before we start minting. So them assets, them traits are going to get sort of sliced up and put in amongst all of the scientists. That's the plan. So you might get a little bit of, you know, a Professor Frink haircut, a Water White top, and all these things. Nice. And then amongst that, I've sort of taken random things that I think look cool, or taken inspiration from different artworks within, like, as in like science, and just sort of, you know, lab coats and test goggles and
laser eyes.
Smoke. I haven't got laser eyes. I'm staying away from laser eyes.
Everyone's got laser eyes.
I know. I've held a few laser eye things in my time. But yeah, I'm staying away from laser eyes. But yeah, I just tried to have fun with it for a little while, you know, and I've tried the haircuts, some of them are a little bit wacky, and, you know, I wanted to just try and make them look a bit more interesting than, you know, a lot of, if we talk about doodles earlier, you know, a lot of doodle stuff looks quite soft, might be a word I use, whereas some of mine maybe looks, you know, a little bit erratic, which is cool.
I like to recommend a zombie alchemist.
Okay, so we've got an undead skin.
Perfect.
Oh, cool.
I'm in.
Undead skins in. We're sort of, I've been banding around with some Frankenstein stuff as well, throwing that in there, so that might sort of link into what you're saying.
That totally makes sense. I could, like, seeing the artwork, I could see something like that. That would look awesome with this stuff. Totally.
Awesome. So that's the plan. Is the traits sort of come from, you know, a random spattering of famous scientists and things that look cool and everything in between.
Perfect.
Nice. I like the one that you tweeted like a little while ago, August 10th. The guy, I think it's like brewing and boiling is the caption for the tweet, and the guy's bald. I'm sorry, you know, don't want to
Yeah,
check. Yeah, that one, the lab coat, that dealing like what he's like, I don't know, he's like boiling
just
or
scrolling down.
something.
Is this a purple guy, right?
Yeah, that guy.
Oh yeah. I've just
That
Yeah,
found
looks
yeah.
cool. I love that. That's
So
cool.
he's got dragon skin.
Okay.
So he's got dragon skin. He's got an experimental jacket. I'm just looking at it now.
Mhm.
He's got the Back to the Future clear goggles, and he's smoking from the mouth. So
Right. Yeah.
bit of a mixture.
Yeah, I
Nice.
like the Back to the Future clear goggles. I like when some of the PFPs don't have the eyes like that. Yeah.
I
Yeah,
guess any involvement with the fancy backgrounds, or is it just going to kind of be solid color background?
So I'm going to keep him solid color, and the
Okay.
reason for that is I've played around with it, and I've sort of tried different things, and for me, it sort of detracts from the the actual the
Right.
alchemist. There's no reason for that other than that, and again, it sort of links into the mutation slightly, the background,
Okay.
and
Okay.
so that's the goal.
Fair enough. You're muted, Devon.
Oh yeah, sorry. I was going to thank
Rookie
you.
move.
I was
Sorry,
coughing.
it's
I was
just
coughing.
clearing my throat.
Yeah. You know what, Rook? You want to do a podcast with me? This guy's always now what was I going to say? Right. No, if you have a background that's got way too much going on, it's gotta fit the aesthetic, and it's kind of like it's got to be clean. The gradient introduces too much stuff. So I think you made the right choice. Not that we're your advisors or anything, but like just given our like advice on like our take on what we see, like we like it totally.
Awesome. And that's why I'm doing these podcasts and speaking to people like you guys. I want people to say that looks cool, or I've got a little bit of time where I can be like, actually I can change things. And that's what I want. That's why I'm talking to people and trying my best to get into spaces and speak to leaders in the field, because for me, I want something that people are going to go, that's cool. So
how is it being received so far? Like what's the general sense? I mean, you've approached have you mentioned mint date? I guess you're going to kind of drop that soon, let the public know about that soon, right?
So that's dropping on Thursday. That's dropping on Thursday with your podcast.
Okay, cool.
Awesome.
Well, so
a lot of things riding on this podcast.
Yeah, no, this is cool. You can say what you want because this will go out on Thursday. So feel free. It'll be Thursday evening Eastern time. So
that's cool.
Yeah. Okay, so there's a mint date. It's in the future, obviously. But like leading up to that, you're the artist. You've got your project. You've set it up a certain way, and there's no way you can't be like, I believe in this. I love it. It's my baby. But of course, still nervous, right? Like, who knows what's going to happen? It could be all over, right? But with I guess, like, how do you feel when you're chatting to people? What's the feedback getting? What's the community telling you about the project? What's the energy like?
So from the engagement I've had and the people I've spoken to, people like the art, and it's not as if they're going like, oh my God, that's the best art I've ever seen. And people are not going, that art is absolutely terrible. They're sort of in that point where they're saying, you know what? I think it's cool. I like it. And for me, that's the sort of sweet spot I wanted to hit. I'm not asking for a huge amount of ADA, and I'm not asking for nothing. So it's one of those things. I think when I open the Discord up, which will be just after this podcast, I'm hoping to get even more of, positive reassurance is probably one thing I'm looking for. But yeah, so generally people were saying it's good. And I've spoken to a few people like separately and privately, just asking what they feel like. And, they like it. So that's good.
Nice. We do too.
Awesome. I like it.
Yeah. So do you want to tell us a little bit about the lab and what that is going to look like? Because there's been a couple of different potions and whatnot, but like I know that you have some kind of plans for that. So what's going on there?
So where do you want me to go? Do you want me to go potion mutation first, or do you want me to go lab first?
Let's go lab first, and then
cool.
Yeah.
Cool. So the lab is sort of is phase 3. So we've already started sort of drawing, and I've already started drawing things and sort of thrown them past my art advisor. I'll give him an official title.
Nice.
Yeah, I've sort of been started to draw different separate things. Now, for me, what I would like to do, and my aim, is to create sort of a home for your alchemist. Now, when I don't use that word lightly in terms of I want it to be a space where you can customize it in a way. Now, I understand that Cardano might be slightly harder with the smart contracts and the way it goes with other things like that, but it's something that I'll flesh out. And phase 3 is sort of hopefully going to be happening December time, so November, December time. So by that time, I'm hoping I've fleshed out a lot of the issues and got myself to a point where I can be like, okay, this is genuinely achievable.
Nice.
But yeah, so what I would like in the labs is for them, again, ultimately to be cool. I've got ideas of like neon signs and potion furnaces and all these things I've started doodling and sort of tried to sort of put together so that you can have a lab that looks cool and you can take your alchemist and put it in this lab and you'll be like, you know what? I like that. That looks awesome.
Interesting.
That's the plan.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, yeah, that's the plan.
So you haven't used the M word.
No, I don't want to use that word. That's a horrible word.
That's cool. No, I like that. Ryan, do you know of any other like that kind of having a place where is there anything else you can think of? I know what you're probably going to think of. The only other place we've seen something like this happen where like an NFT lives somewhere legitimately is I'm testing you in person. I don't know why Kasama.
Yeah, you have the NFT on an NFT kind of stuff.
Yeah.
I think, well, again, doodles, didn't they do the space doodles? That was kind of like it morphed into its own NFT. And then when people like the doodle went into the spacecraft, and then people remember they were selling the spacecraft thinking, oh, I'm just selling that. But actually
I thought that was Boss Cat Rocket Club.
No, it was Space Doodles.
Oh,
they ended up selling their Space Doodle, and it also sold their doodle with it.
Right,
because they had added it something to do with the new contract or something. But
you're totally right. I do remember we talked about that way back. Sorry, that's good memory.
But
okay,
there hasn't been too many projects to try something like that.
No, and I think that's sort of hopefully something that we're unique in. Not unique necessarily because there are people that have done it, and I'm not sitting here saying that it's going to be something that's going to be done in October, and again that's sort of hopefully reflective of the mint price is that it's something that I've got to create a team to do that, and I've already started speaking to developers and seeing how possible that will be. I understand that it is going to be something that's a task, but it's something that I'm quite driven to get right, and
I'd love to see it if you can get it to work properly, and that'd be awesome to see. I like innovators in the space, trying new things. I hope the best. I hope it works out.
That would be good. If it does, obviously that's my plan, and I'm not going to. My goal is to do that before I get to the game. That's the plan because I want them to cross over, and all I can do in my honesty and my integrity that I'm trying to be as honest and integral as possible is say that's the plan, and I'm talking to developers to implement that plan. I've been part of projects. I don't know if you guys know. I don't want to name drop them because I love the project Oogaverse. So they're over on Ethereum. So they was one of the projects. Oogaverse. So they're like space monkeys. They were essentially, and they've sort of grown into a game. Now, for me, Oogaverse had my heart for a very long time, and then they started developing into the game. But the problem they had was they said, like, we are going to create a game. That game will be ready.
Oh, yeah. And
for me, that absolutely killed me when you get through the first mint. And I think they ended up minting about 100,000 assets, which is insane. But they minted it out so quickly that they went, we're not ready. And everyone went, why are you not ready? And all of a sudden, I talk about floor price is not the best thing to do, but my bag that I'd spent £3,000, £4,000, £5,000 on went up to £14,000 and down to £1,000. So,
oh my gosh, yeah.
And we're all in the space originally to make money, and then we stay here because we actually like the space. At this point in the bear market, that's why we're here. But things like that absolutely kill you, and they can kneecap investors and everyone. So I don't want to sit here and say, I don't want to sit here and say like the game is going to be here by December, because it's not. but I'm going to do everything in my power to take the money I get and put it into that, because at the end of the day, I'm trying to think what I'm going to take from the mint, maybe like £35,000 from ADA, which is horrible to say that out loud. And it makes me seem like I'm here because cash flow. I'm not. I'm going to be putting that back into the project, ready to go for the next stage and the next stage, because, I want to build something that's going to be here for a while.
No, that's awesome. We love that kind of transparency, that honesty as well. I think that's going to go a long way. Question to ask, which hopefully doesn't piss you off. What mechanism, like with I'm still like, I love the labs. Going back to the labs, is that like another mint, or is that an airdrop? What is that? What's the mechanism for getting that out, you think?
So at the moment, my original plan is to airdrop potions for free. The mutation will be dependent on where we are with floor prices. Obviously, what I would like to see is the floor price go up. And to be honest, I'll probably just mint it for what I've done now or less. Because obviously I've got to pay developers to do that. Right. So for me, my idea was to mint it back at 29 or possibly half of that, depending on what funds I need. And again, I'll be transparent with people when it comes to that. That's my plan, is to get to a point where you can then, be happy with the fact that you're doing it. What I can't do is sit here and go, you're going to get one NFT for 29 ADA and I'm going to give you 4 for free. That's probably not going to happen, and I think we all need to be realistic with that. But it's what you are going to get is someone who's sitting there saying, you know what, I'm going to really try and make this happen.
Okay, cool. Potions.
I was going to say,
sorry, you know what? Sorry, Ryan, you can do something.
No, I like to defer to you. I let you.
No, talk. Man, I'm just because I'm just like, cool, and then like, this, yeah.
I just sit on the sideline and pick my points and make fun of you when I want. But yeah, what are the potions?
Cool. So these are things that I've got all the ideas. The base beakers, vials, basins are pretty much there in terms of their original form. And then obviously I've got to make them, illustrate them, color them, make them look as cool as I think everyone else should look. Yeah. But they're going to be a mixture of ingredients, colors, all those things. Now I'm going to try my best to tell you what's happening without telling you what's happening before someone steals my ideas.
Yeah.
But this potion or this beaker, this vial, will then mutate your alchemist differently.
Okay. Gotcha. That's
so cool. Yeah, and I'm calling it a dynamic mutation. That's my outlook, because, and this is why I say I want people to have multiple alchemists and maybe 2 or 3. Because then they might get 2 or 3 different potions that will be a free airdrop, and they can go, okay, I've got this one, which I like the look of, and I'm going to combine that in the mutation event with this alchemist. So it might be a potion that's red and they have a dragon skin alchemist and they think, you know what, I'm going to combine them.
Gotcha. Okay. No, I like it. You know what? Don't say more. Yeah.
That's what
say less, as the young kids
say.
Say less.
Say less. I'm sufficiently intrigued. I like it, so that's good.
Cool. How much time we got? Okay, so do you have any plans to dox at all?
So
I know that's big for people to hear.
Yeah, and I think with my background, obviously being teaching and the professional space I'm in, I've got no problem with it, but I want to get to a point where I know that this is a big enough animal that I can be like, okay, this is where I'm going with myself and my career and my life, and I think that's just the most honest way of putting it. And I think that the reason why I'm coming on Spaces and I'm not just leaving it to nothing is to hopefully people get a voice and hear me and say, you know what, that's someone that I'm going to trust for a while. I'm going to trust this person. And that's the reason why I'm here talking to you guys, trying to tell everyone about my project, because, that's my personal Twitter. I don't have another Twitter. That is my Twitter. So that's generally where I am with that.
Okay.
Cool. Yeah, I like that.
I do. I'm trying to think of how I phrase the question.
Be brutal.
No, I don't want to. I don't want to. Do you think people what would you like to say to people that they want to do their research and it makes them very nervous that there's not like a big team behind this? I guess is what I'm trying to think of how to phrase the question of, do you people see a one-man show and it's like, well, he's just gonna rug us, you know what I mean?
Or
Yeah,
even
100%.
go even, I actually, Ryan, I'm glad you brought that up, because I was even going to think about this. I thought about this earlier, and I was thinking, what if you get sick, or I don't know, you get really busy with something, like what kind of
Real life happens.
yeah, real life happens. What kind of redundancy might you be thinking of? And like, I mean, I know you don't really have to answer this question, but I guess, Ryan kind of did set it up pretty nicely. So what are your thoughts on that,
Okay, so my thoughts are that at the start of this project and where I am now, if all you was getting, and I'm saying this from the most positive way I can say this.
Yeah.
If all you're getting is a cool picture of an alchemist that's costing you $14, I'm hoping that people won't go that I've been rugged,
Yeah.
and they might just like the artwork for the sake of it.
Yeah.
Right.
That sounds horrendous, because I'm not setting myself up to do that, but I'm trying to be as open as possible. I then am going to take obviously what I can from this, and I'm working with Peppermint at the moment with a minting system. So I've got a minting system in place and a company in place what are going to be, a lot better than NFT Maker to drop bombs. And yeah, I'm in a place where they sort of know my next steps, and they're in a position to, they sort of said, we want to be part of where you're going. So that's awesome. So
yeah. Anything you could say about that minting service or anything like that, or is that kind of private stuff? Like, how is that going?
So I'm at a stage where, we've fleshed out percentages, and we've fleshed out the process. So I was working with a developer that I've been sort of friends with for a while, and that was my two-man team. So when I started by saying that we're a small team, it was me, the artist and the founder, and a developer. And he sort of come to me and said, "Do you know what? I can't do it," and basically just pulled out on me. And that was a few days ago, maybe 4 or 5 days ago, when I was with Peppermint, and they sort of said, "Okay, well, we can generate your projects, and then you can go from there." And what I don't want to do is disrupt my flow now by going, okay, let's find a new developer. I don't want to do that at this point, and they can mint everything as I want it to be minted. And then when I've got that price, I can go, okay, let's look around for the best developer possible. I'm going to get all the artwork completely done, ready to go, so that all they have to do are the basic things, and hopefully that inspires confidence in myself. Maybe it might go the opposite way, and people will listen to this and make their own assumption, and they're going to. But I believe that being honest about the outcome is the best way to be.
No.
And you're gonna have a disc, like you are planning to do a Discord, and there'll be moderators and all that stuff. So you'll
100%.
slowly kind of build a team to
implement my plans. And I've looked at projects that have apparently AAA game designers and the best developers in the space and the best people in the space, and they do exactly the same as everyone else.
It's true.
And for me, that doesn't make any difference. So hopefully people can see the artwork and they like it, and they like what I'm saying on non-fungibles with you guys and Shark Tank and in the space I'm getting into, and they think, you know what, this is something that I want to be a part of. And if you do, amazing. If you don't, that's cool. Go and mint something else, and hopefully you'll come back at some point and be like, I wish I minted one of them. So
that's awesome. Listen, I mean, I know some of our conversation was kind of just like on these questions about doxing and where's your Discord and blah, blah, blah. But don't get me wrong. We didn't come on here for you to defend yourself. Like we can't.
No, not at all.
Yeah, we chatted, we looked at the stuff, and we were like, I heard you on the space, and we're like, we're excited. I think with the way that you're approaching this of not being doxed, first of all, before everyone was like, yeah, it's completely fine. No big deal. Different market, different expectations. But I don't know, man. I like it. This has been cool. I like it's been a little while since Ryan and I have discovered projects like this. Actually, we're trying to get more into this because a lot of the guests and projects we have are ones that we've kind of been working with or talking to, and for a little while. So we are coming in a little bit blind too, and it's been cool to kind of go through things like this. So I hope the listeners have enjoyed this. That's kind of all I have for questions for you, Rook. I mean, I don't know if this is becoming a signature question. Maybe it is, but I think this is probably the last question I got for you, and then we can let you say whatever else you want with the community if so. But I mean, maybe what's your favorite food? What's a restaurant you like to go to?
So my favorite is Mexican food. I've heard this on your podcast before, so I'm,
you
I
thought about that, eh? Okay, yeah, it might be signature. Might be something we do now.
So my favorite is fajitas. That's my go-to.
I love
nice,
fajitas.
What a dinner. I think of myself as a fajita connoisseur, but I say that. I mean, I make the same fajitas every goddamn week, so I might not be a connoisseur. I might just like the ones I make, right?
Steak or chicken? What do you use?
Chicken, definitely chicken.
Oh, chicken. I thought everyone goes steak.
A lot of people go steak. I'm chicken. I'm chicken. So yeah, I am down with that.
Yeah, I think for me, in England, steak fajitas are not really that popular.
You know what? No surprise that it's popular over here, right? Like, America.
Yeah, it's interesting that, to be fair. I know this is, I've probably had 3 or 4 steak fajitas in my life, and I'm not a fan. So,
wow, that's interesting.
I like
tacos, but then obviously it's completely different. It's completely different. So,
yeah.
I remember
what you. Sorry, go ahead.
You've tickled my taste buds here. I might be having some steak fajitas tomorrow.
That's hilarious. Let us know. Let us know. Slide in the DMs. We want to know what you think. Yeah.
Get some pictures up as well. Maybe that could be a trait. I could put some steak fajitas on the head. The old pancakes on the head from the Space Boys and all that stuff.
Give it a nice overnight marinade, and then it's nice and crisp for you.
There we go.
Look at this. Wow.
Yeah, that's it. It's 2:10 in the morning, and I'm now thinking about going and making steak fajitas. So let's see where this goes.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Well, that's, you hear it here first. Non-Fungible Guys. This is a podcast about cryptocurrency, NFTs, about food as well. Apparently.
Yeah, 100%.
Rook, thanks so much.
Rook, thank you
BTC.
very much.
Alchemists of ADA, minting soon, maybe. Check Thursday when this episode drops for more information. That Medium article is going to come out, and it's going to give you a lot more information than you have now. If you've made it this far, you've already got that alpha. Keep tuning into Non-Fungible Guys for that alpha, for new projects, for new guests, for new restaurants and food. And Ryan, thanks for being a co-host.
No problem. Thanks for inviting me to be on your podcast.
What is this podcast? Oh my gosh. All right, that's it. That's what we got. Non-Fungible Guys. We out.
Stupid.